believe you were ready.
It was the way you said it.
Sometimes you get on my nerves, Keisha.
Attitude.
My name is Anna Hernandez. This is my third year teaching at Howard Doolin Middle School. The school is located in West Kendall. I teach 6th and 7th grade language arts.
I believe that's what I'm getting out of. Goodbye, Andy.
Wait a minute, you can't leave. What about your song?
You sing it.
The name of the text that we read with our students was Tears of a Tiger, and it's by Sharon Draper. The students that I have in the class I've had for the last 2 years. I have them for 2 years in a row, for 6th grade gifted language arts and for 7th grade gifted language arts.
You know I've had a sinus headache, dear. Where's Keisha? I thought you two had planned to watch a movie on cable tonight.
She went home. She had a headache. I guess it's something all women get.
Well, fix yourself something to eat, and I'm going to turn in. I have a sorority meeting here tomorrow, so don't muss up the house.
Yeah, whatever.
It gets the students' attention right away. The very first page of the book, one of the teenagers gets killed, and right away the students want to keep on reading.
I wish you quit calling it the unfortunate accident. It wasn't an incident. It wasn't an incident. It was a crash, a terrible, terrible crash, and it was my fault. You need a dose of reality, Mom. You want to pretend it didn't happen, and I can't deal with this myself.
Really enjoy the way Sharon Draper has written the book. It's not a traditional format. They enjoy that because they can identify, they write notes, they do homework, and all of those things are in the book. They write poems, they have conversations with teachers and with other peers, so I think they identify with it a lot, and they did get it.
It's about these teenage boys, and they go to this high school, and they were out one night after a big basketball game, and they were drinking. They started driving, and they were in this terrible car crash, and they all got out except one boy who died. And the driver is like, that's what he's thinking about. He's like traumatized now. Not of driving, but of the thought that his best friend died, and why didn't he die? And his parents sent him to a psychiatrist to get help, and he's having problems with his girlfriend and all those things.
One of the reasons I use this text is so that not only that the students are interested right from the get-go, but it gives me an opportunity to use it as a building block so that the kids can get a deeper understanding of what's going on in the text through their logic and intuition. Another strategy that I use is asking questions that guides students through the text and gets into the characters' heads. When we first started discussion, I'm usually the one asking the questions, and that prompts a review of whatever we've read. Okay, and what's going on with the rest of the people in the school? How are they dealing with his?
They're like, trying to not mention it and stuff. Like, they're going back to their regular activities now with the basketball game.
Okay, what else?
There's also, they also posted this paper on his locker saying killer.
Who?
He doesn't know exactly, but it was a group of kids.
Do you think it was his fault?
No.
Why?
Because even though he was drinking and driving, he did not know that, it would cause the death of his best friend.
Through our discussions, one of the things that I try to do is have the kids not find specific answers to questions, but having them have an opportunity to live out the situation that the characters are going through with the setting and with everything that's going on in a more complex way. So if you drink and drive, then it's not going to cause anything bad to happen.
He knew that there was a chance, but I guess at the moment he wasn't really thinking clearly about the consequences. So really it wasn't his fault.
But even though they put the paper on his locker, they shouldn't have put that there because at least he tried to save him.
Okay. And they weren't there, obviously.
I know.
Lais.
I do think it was kind of his fault, but it wasn't only his fault. It was everyone's fault because they should have thought that drinking and driving is bad.
What should they have done?
They shouldn't have been drinking in the first place.
Was everybody in the car drinking?
No, except for the one guy. They should have let him drive, but since they didn't, it is kind of a little bit more his fault. But then the one who died, he shouldn't have put his feet on the dashboard because you're not supposed to do that anyways.
And Andy says, I had been charged with DWI and vehicular homicide, but they dropped the vehicular homicide charge because of my age and good driving record. I ended up getting my license revoked until I'm 21 and a 2-year suspended sentence. Even I thought it was a real easy sentence, maybe too easy. Do you think that was right? Should he have gotten a worse sentence than just revoked license until 21 and 2-year suspended sentence?
But like the other guy, BJ, that wasn't like drunk, they should have let him drive. So like, it's like only Andy's fault, but it should be like everybody else's fault because they were all there. Like, so it's like not that bad.
So, but do you think that he got an easy sentence? Yeah. You think what should he have deserved?
I don't know. They should have like, I don't know, like something worse because he did like, well, I don't know. Maybe it is like easy. Like maybe it's not that easy because his license was like suspended.
Reading the text aloud allows students to ask questions and gives them an opportunity to look at other possibilities to the situation at hand.
I wonder what Andy's getting me for Christmas. I wonder if Andy is even going to get me anything for Christmas. He's so out of it sometimes that I wonder if he even knows what day it is. All I know is he better get me something nice.
What kind of advice would you give him now? He's obviously going through a lot. He's in a state of depression. He's even around his girlfriend, he starts crying and everything else. What would you suggest to him? Nobody's answering the question. I can't hear you, Tiffany. Isabel, what were you gonna say?
No, I don't have one. But if it were to happen, I would have found out sooner or later. I would have just gotten rid of them.
Okay.
It's not right to talk. It's not right to talk about something. It's not right to talk about somebody behind their back, because they're gonna find out sooner or later.
Don't you guys say a lot of things that you don't mean when you're joking around with your friends?
Yeah, but I wouldn't say that all the time. And if you really care about him, you wouldn't say that. I mean, not as far as he, because he's mean.
You think Andy's mean?
Yeah, I've seen meaner, but he's mean.
Using text such as Tears of a Tiger enables my students not only to look at the questions that the text poses, but to look at larger questions in life. For example, in Tears of a Tiger, Andy, the main character, has to deal with the fact that he was driving while intoxicated. Therefore, my students, they think through the process, and later on in life, they might encounter the same situation, and this will enable them to handle that situation. All right, so that was a good question. Let me get another question. Let's switch questions. Melise.
Do people plan to drink and drive?
Do people plan to drink and drive? Let's just go back to Andy and Rob and everybody. Did they plan to drink and drive? Yeah, they did. So.
But sometimes no, because sometimes they just like, sometimes people would come outside, oh yeah, I got some beers, oh yeah, let's go somewhere, you know? Sometimes it just comes up. It just comes up and it ends up happening.
So like David says, sometimes the opportunity arises and it's just there. Isabel?
But they don't plan to drink and drive. They just
They don't plan to die at least.
They don't.
Some people
yeah,
do.
they don't plan to die or anything. They just have 1 or 2 buds and that's it. Usually, but sometimes they just want more and more and more, and then all of a sudden they get into an accident. It's not always planned.
Okay.
Well, suicide.
Does anybody agree or
Suicide is
disagree?
something else.
Some people do plan. Like, okay, I'm gonna escape death. I'm gonna get drunk and then start driving.
And then
Like,
they
to
come
show
back,
off
oh,
and
yeah,
stuff.
I drunk and I did not crash or nothing.
I'm cool now.
They always do get drunk, and sometimes they drive home, even though they're super drunk.
That's not very good.
I know.
And you're so proud of that. Lais, and then we'll move on to the next question.
They don't. They might plan and they don't. It's both. And my friend, when she was younger, she didn't have her driving. She was like 13 or 14, and she went with her older sisters to a party, and they got drunk, and she had to drive back home. And she didn't have her license, and she went without her license.
So sometimes, like David says, just the events.
Yeah, because it was a party. Like, they didn't plan on drinking, because then they would have, like, taken money for a cab or something. But they had no money, and the party was far away, so they just went.
With the lesson that I was teaching the students, I hope that they can take this back and apply it later in life. And if they're ever faced with some type of dilemma, that they don't take the easy way out like Andy did in the book, that they actually think about what they're doing and the people that they're hurting, and all those things that we went through in the book, and that they can apply it in their own life situation.
Would you let your friend drive drunk or drive while drinking? Joey?
I'll just tell them the consequences, and then I'll let them decide. And then you would get in the car and die.
Nice, Ryan. What else, Lais?
I'd tell her no, or him, or whatever. I'd stop them, and if they still wanted to drive, then I would try to get the key and away from them, and if they still wouldn't listen, I'd let them go, and then I'd call for like their parents or something, because I like my friends, they're my friends, and I care about them. That's what I said.
I would let them drive.
You would?
No,
Oh.
Thank you. That's how much I mean. Because if they're like wasted and drunk, that they will act stupid, and if I asked them to stop driving and they said no, I would get out of the car.
Okay, how about if the car is moving?
Oh.
And they're like, they just pull out a bud and they're driving and drinking. What are you gonna do then?
If they just started, then maybe nothing. But then if I see them start acting crazy, then I'll tell them to pull over, then walk home.
Brian, what was your answer?
Depends where I'm at. Like, if I'm just across the street, I'll just walk home. But I really don't. I'll just let them take me home.
So you would get into the car?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Brian's crazy like that.
Christine?
I would get the keys and I would drive myself, if I could drive, of course.
And if not?
Then if not, then I guess, yeah, I guess I'd have to call a cab or call someone.
I noticed that one of the things that my students do very often is the fact that they always turn to me for approval. In the future, I want for them to look at themselves, not always look back at me. I read with the kids, so I'm a reader as well. I have questions, I have doubts. Sometimes I don't understand and I need clarification. And those are the same things that I want my students to be doing. Asking questions, asking for clarification, looking to each other for support, and not always to me as a teacher.